So, hello everyone, I'm Arkan and I have the honor today of hosting today's weekly THORChain chat. Unfortunately, I needed to do it from my account. THORChain was not able to do it. But just to remind everyone, this live stream offers like the THORChain community, a platform to come together, hear updates from the core team, Tor security, and the ecosystem partners, and also to share announcements and updates, and even from community members to speak up and ask questions. Today is a bit special for several reasons, and unfortunately no one from the core team could participate today, so I thought it's a great opportunity to do a kind of ecosystem focused session today. And I'm very happy to have 4 guests today with me for a panel discussion and also individual updates. It's Emily from XDEFI, he will join a few minutes later, then Marcel from Thorwallet, as well as Lucas and Michael from Brokkr. This just means that we will carry over all THORChain core focused questions to next time. And all of these questions that I've received accordingly are over Twitter and Discord. They will be answered next week. And as mentioned before, recording of the live stream will be published on runebase.org by CRXNWEN after the live stream, probably later today, and we will share it over Discord, Twitter, so everybody who's not able to join live will be able to do a recap there. So, but now I think let's welcome today's speakers. Perhaps could each of you do a short introduction, just in case somebody doesn't know you yet, and perhaps Marcel, can you start from Marcel from Thorwallet?
Yeah, absolutely. Not sure how long this introduction should be.
Really just a minute or two to understand what's your role.
Because normally I don't like to talk too much about myself, more about the project, but happy to do so. So my name is Marcel. I'm the CEO, co-CEO of Thorwallet. I'm also actually a course director here at the local University of Lucerne in blockchain and crypto finance. I have a banking background, a master in finance, also started a PhD in IT here. Spent a lot of time in the world of startups from various roles, pretty much you can think of. Went into Bitcoin and blockchain, I would say rather late, into 16, 17, but never left back, looking back. And now I'm super happy to be here with Thorwallet. Looking forward to all the questions, and thanks a lot.
Perfect. Thank you, Marcel. Lucas, do you want to continue?
Sure.
Lucas and Michael.
Yeah. Thanks for having us on the session today. I'm Lucas from Brokkr. I'm the CEO. I'm pretty glad to see so much European people here, like you guys, Thorwallet, Switzerland. We are at Brokkr. We're initially based in Austria, but now kind of distributed all over the world with our team. But still great to see that so many people are here from Central Europe as well. And it's not only Americans and not only Asian people who are in the crypto space. Actually, we as a team started out already nearly 4 years ago in the crypto space, founding our company Block42, which is kind of the core team behind Brokkr. We started out with an investment fund-like vehicle. So we started investing in the crypto space with our own funds and with some funds of investors, and also started out to build up a dev team and build different projects for various networks in the space, like Icon, Phantom, THORChain, Terra, and some more. And beginning of this year, we decided to kind of pivot and start to build our own product. With all the experience we had already from building in the crypto space, we thought this could be a good place and time to build our own product, and so this was kind of the inception of Brokkr.
Perfect, thank you very much, Lucas. And Michael, perhaps shortly about your role at Brokkr.
I think Michael is still a listener, at least.
Okay, I think he resigned from speaker. No worries, so Michael is also with Brokkr and joining Lucas today in the discussion. And I also see that Emily is now also here from XDEFI. No, also left again, I'm not sure.
I can't see him, at least not on the speakers.
He was here a second ago. Okay, anyway, until Emily joins again, Let's quickly go through the agenda today. So first I want to give just some general updates from the week, what happened within THORChain. Then I've just a few generic questions about THORChain. I want to ask the panel, like you guys that just introduced yourself, talk about recent events, IDEO weeks that are ongoing, and general like the reinstallation of THORChain over the recent weeks. Then we'll hear from each project, like the latest update for XDEFI, Thorwallet, and Brokkr, what they're currently working on, what have been the latest milestones. And then the community has the opportunity to ask questions, like to come on stage, ask people questions they're interested in. Okay, so Emily, you're back as a speaker, I see. Can you also quickly introduce yourself?
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me, guys. Yeah, sure. Okay, so yeah, my background is more traditional finance, switched to tech a few years back. That's where I met my current partner, David, where basically we're working for BCG, launching ventures for them in London. And invested early in THORChain, and I think it was back in May 2020 last year. We were discussing with the core team, and quickly realized that the type of infrastructure that we've now built was necessary for all the THORChain users to be able to connect and interact with any UI interfaces powered by THORChain. So that's more or less where I guess XDEFI wallet comes from.
Perfect. Thank you, Emily. So let's just continue with a few updates. We'll keep it short. And as I mentioned in the beginning, like any questions regarding THORChain core topics and technical questions, we'll answer like next time when we have members from core team and 9 Realms again here at the live AMA. So what happened recently? I mean, today you probably saw like the node churn happened the first time earlier today, the first time since July, after network was down and leading to 3 million Rune as extra bond. And the new churn interval has been set to 3 days now. So we have regular churn of nodes. Then on 8th of November, there was a huge development update published in Medium, and I will share also the links later on, but you can see it on the THORChain Medium. Like the most important input there was like all the fixes they have done, the Tor security update. So all chains have now been audited. All the audits have been completed. A whitelist has been implemented for ERC20 tokens. So also this additional security measure in terms of limiting the ERC20 contracts that can be added to THORChain to avoid things that have happened in the past, unfortunately. Then there has been an update on the IBC integration, so Cosmos IBC integration, with the conclusion that IBC is not really suitable for THORChain. So it absolutely requires economic insurance for all the bridges, and IBC cannot guarantee this. But the good news, I mean, the Terra integration, so Terra blockchain integration, it's still on the table and looks like this will happen end of the year. And this will also be a question for the panel later on. Then there has been the treasury report, the quarterly treasury report by THORChain. So protocol reserves are now 177 million Rune, worth currently 2.5 billion. Treasury compromises of 273 million in total assets, so in a several diversified assets. And it's still the plan to hand over full control of the protocol, of GitHub, of socials, and also the treasury in about 8 months, so summer 2022, to kind of complete the road to complete decentralization. And there's also part of this planned obsolescence will be that the treasury will be split up across the ecosystem teams. They will be responsible for handling the treasury. So it's kind of expect to have 5 to 10 treasuries, which is also much more decentralized than having one central big treasury. Then a new ecosystem page has been published, so you can find all the different projects that are building on top of THORChain or building tools for THORChain. So it's docs.thorchain.org/ecosystem. You can see, like, obviously the project we are hearing about today, but also others like DeFi Spot, TorSwap, different analytics projects, and also for new people can get a really good overview on what's being built on and for THORChain. And we've also gotten the latest update on the roadmap. So Ethereum version 3 router upgrade is next step after the churn that has happened today. Then we'll see the activation of synths. Really, really big topic, the first real big new feature for THORChain coming up. And we'll talk obviously today with Brokkr about this. Then we'll hear about Thor names. This will also be kind of a victim of the exploit that had happened earlier this year, but Thor names will now be realized, and with the traction that Ethereum name service has seen just now because of the airdrop, we can expect something similar in terms of hype also for THORChain. Then new bridges are coming up. We've talked about Terra, but also bridges to other blockchains are being worked on currently. So more assets on THORChain, that's definitely a good thing, right? And last but not least, also the Vault nodes, formerly called Light nodes, will be released. It means like more people can run their own nodes with less capital requirements that we've seen now for the existing nodes. So this is just a general update. What has happened is just in 1 week, so it's really great to see the amount of things that are put out in the system. It's great. And I think that's already a good start for some panel questions, right? So my question to you is, to the guys from Brokkr and to Marcel and Emile, how satisfied are you with the current traction of THORChain? I mean, we see now the security audits have been completed. We have now more TVL than before because of several capital raises. We have seen 67 Thor node and 2 Midgard updates. And we see typically like about $50 million of volumes per day. So what's your view currently on this? But not only the good things, also the things that where you see a need for improvement still. Who wants to start?
Yeah, maybe I'll take this one. Yeah, actually, it's curious. The last couple of months, actually, the core team and all ecosystem partners put so much effort in bringing back the system again. But in the course of these months, you of course do not see that much of progress. But still, there was so much work performed in more or less in the background. And now, when the system is back, you see all the results of the last months. And I think right now a lot of positive events happening in the THORChain ecosystem. And it's good for all of us to read some good news again, see some positive messages. And yeah, in my opinion, the entire ecosystem getting traction again, really, really fast. So much things happened. You just mentioned them, what just happened in the last week. And this is kind of crazy. And I'm really looking forward to keep up this pace now till end of this year. So much on the roadmap for the next couple of weeks and months. And if the core team is able to deliver that and all the ecosystem partners can also push their roadmap as planned, I'm pretty bullish on the near future for THORChain.
Great to hear. In terms of security, how confident are you now with reinstallation of Ethereum and ERC20 and new bridges coming up?
I mean, you won't be ever 100% secure. Of course, there can be issues also in the future, but I think what definitely changed is how much people look on the code, how much entities try to challenge the code and find those issues and try to remove them before they went live. So yeah, as I said, you never can be 100% sure, but I'm pretty confident that we don't see those big issues again as we witnessed in summer this year.
Thank you, Lucas.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm with Lucas on that. I think security-wise, like a lot of efforts have been made, and Nine Realms did an amazing job with Halborn coordinating the efforts. I reckon that we're still like into the new territory, side of things. So there will always be like a need for this to be an ongoing effort. And I'm sure, like all the projects that are working together in the ecosystem, I'm going to make sure that the networks remain secure. So I guess that's going to be like an ongoing work for a long time. And again, agree with Lucas. A lot of things have been done the last months. It's good that we took the time to make sure that the network is up, back and running, and in a secure fashion. Now we can focus on delivering the new features of the ecosystem that are going to be quite cool, including Synth. Lucas.
Great to hear. Marcel, what's your view?
Yeah, basically I can just summarize because everything he said, but I totally agree. A lot of great work has put in. The speed now we see again is really fast. It's super nice to watch, and congratulations basically on that. Speed always comes with a risk, but then again, this time those measures have been taken by the core team, 9 Realms, THORSec, and so on. So I think all the measures are in place, and we can be bullish and obviously reasonable looking into the future. Yeah.
Great. Thank you. So before we talked about Terra as a kind of new bridge. So all the Terra assets coming to THORChain eventually, probably end of the year, not fixed, obviously. And especially for you guys from Brokkr, Lucas, and Emily from XDEFI, like Terra has quite a big significance, right? XDEFI recently integrated Terra assets into their wallet, and Brokkr, probably all aware of launching a product across THORChain and Terra. So what's your view on this? And do you have a few examples of what kind of use cases this will allow us for the future once we have Terra assets on THORChain?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like, well, look, at a user level, like personally, I'm super happy to see this happening, and obviously at XDEFI wallet level, we're super glad to see this happening as well. I think there are a lot of things that are going to be allowed by Terra. Obviously, there was a strong overlap between the lunatics and the THORChads, which is a great thing. So it's something that everyone was waiting for. From an XDEFI wallet point of view, we just released actually like an update today, this morning. So it's live. You can try it on XDEFI wallet, and you have like in a few clicks, you can deposit your UST in Anchor via the wallet without leaving the wallet, which is going to be quite powerful. I think other use cases that are going to be made possible by Terra being integrated with THORChain is, depositing BTC, for instance, and borrowing some UST and then depositing in Anchor. And I think this is a really straightforward like use case, but it talks for itself, and it obviously gives something to Bitcoin holders. So a lot of things to say about Terra. I'm going to let Lucas go on because I know they have a lot of things ongoing with Brokkr, but yeah, we're ecstatic.
Great, Lucas.
Yeah, for us, it's great to see that those two ecosystems moving together, are coming closer together. Actually, for us, being in the crypto space a couple of years, THORChain and the Terra ecosystems are those two protocols we've invested in very early, and we are kind of working closer together since a long time already. And now seeing those ecosystems connecting to each other is really great for us. And that's actually what Brokkr in its more or less first product version is aiming for, to make use of both ecosystems. So using THORChain as this liquidity hole where you just have those assets in there, you can swap between them from asset A to asset B, and then the mirror ecosystem to really put those assets to work. So in the end, what Brokkr will offer is take any THORChain provided asset and put it to work on various protocols in the Terra ecosystem with a seamless user experience. You don't care about all these steps in between of swapping, of transferring to different wallets, of putting it into some smart contracts or whatever. So we want to provide this seamless user experience to our users, and for that make use of THORChain and Terra. So I think that's a great a benefit for THORChain as well to get Terra on board. As I said before, IBC won't be enabled for that, but and that's the good thing for all THORChain native assets. So for Rune and for all synthetic assets, IBC will be enabled. So we will see synthetic assets being moved around into the Cosmos ecosystem, and this will open up a bunch new use cases, and pretty excited about what's coming next with that.
So this means we not just be able to use like Terra assets on THORChain, for example, to borrow and deploy, but also take Rune as like collateral for Anchor in the future and things like that. So I think that's composability will be big here again.
Exactly, and what's happening right now is that this technical foundation is laid out. As mentioned before, 9rolps is working on integrating Terra via the pools, and right after that, IBC should also be enabled to have the THORChain native assets being able to move around.
Well, not even to Terra, then, for example, also on Osmosis and other like IBC-based protocols.
Exactly.
And just a few days ago, also like THORChain main Twitter, they announced the Thor Savings product coming up, like with providing 20% APY on any layer 1 asset that you provide, like Bitcoin, obviously non-wrapped version. How important do you think is that? Can we compare it to something that like is so essential for, again, the Terra ecosystem with a 20% savings rate on Anchor? How do you see this? And perhaps somebody of you also can explain a bit how this works in not full technical perspective, but just to understand where does this yield come from?
Maybe you asked 2 questions. Maybe I'll take on the first one, then I'll hand over. So basically, I'm super excited for this feature, especially also for Thorwallet. Having like this single-sided option to get exposure and API on basically native Bitcoin finally makes those proof of work assets DeFi ready, and you can earn API on it, and that's just huge. Like they're still the biggest assets out there, so I expect the demand to be huge. And then also from like for Thorwallet, we really want to democratize finance, make it accessible for the masses with a mobile wallet, which is super easy to use. But it's not just a wallet, but has also all those DeFi features. So you literally can finally be your own bank. As basically was the notion like in 2016, 17 and so on, like big blockchain is here for being your own bank. And now finally, it's here, because if you pool, liquidity pooling comes with more risks, right? Like in permanent loss, you have actually 2 assets exposures, etc. You need to understand the mechanisms behind it. So as it's basically a new way to invest, but for the masses, what is really interesting is those one-sided APIs on those coins, and that's why I'm super happy that it's finally coming. We want to implement it as soon as it's out there, and
definitely. I mean, it's also so competitive, right? Because I spent quite some while
absolutely
for farms and farming Bitcoin. I mean, it's really a pain, right? Either you have to mess around with web versions and bridges to earn like single digit yield, or you have to kind of trust a centralized lender like BlockFi or Nexo or others, again, for mostly single digit yield. So I think it could be a game changer even for just a few percentage of Bitcoin going into this way.
Absolutely. Imagine for all the people in El Salvador who have now the opportunity to earn API on their native Bitcoin without wrapping it and so on. It's huge, right?
Now we have to just convince the city of Miami to use it for their.
I was about to say that actually. That's pretty awesome. I mean you can see like the banks have failed providing like compelling like returns on saving accounts, and I do believe that like this initiative on top of what like you can already do with Anchor or Orion is going to be like key for the masses. So completely with Marcel on that, and look, we also really looking forward to it. I think in-wallet yields in general are going to be a game changer. Obviously, you need to pick your battles, but having a few options at least on the main assets, whether it's stablecoins, Ethereum or Bitcoin, makes a lot of sense, and that's going to definitely be something much more straightforward for the new joiners, for the normies joining now DeFi, than the current options.
Lucas, anything you want to add here?
Yeah, I think Anchor Protocol did really a decent job in setting out this as the intention was, setting out this anchor rate of 20%. Like this is more or less the floor now in DeFi. Nobody can offer something below. that's actually great. I think with Thor savings, the difference is that, of course, in how it works is different, but also in terms of user experience, it's probably much more straightforward. You have your Bitcoin probably already somewhere lying around, and you bring your Bitcoin, and a few months later, you get your Bitcoin back with some yield on it, and you actually don't need to understand what's going on in the background. And that's probably a big advantage compared to Anchor Protocol, where it's still hard to get UST. And with Thor savings, you can do this more or less with any major asset, and that's pretty amazing. And yeah, you also asked before how this actually works.
Yeah.
So actually, the Thor savings is relying on synthetic assets. So when a user starts out with Bitcoin, what the user doesn't see, but what happened in the background is that the Bitcoin is swapped into Room, is provided to the BTC Room pool. A synthetic asset is minted out of it with synthetic pool units, and these synthetic assets is locked in a vault. And as long as it's locked in, it starts to earning some yield. How much this yield is set by a yield rate, is set by the protocol. And it more or less the yield is paid in the first place by the reserve. So if I have some Bitcoins locked in and I redeem them and claim my yield, I'm getting that paid by the reserve. And the reserve then has kind of a deficit. So it needs to kind of fill up this deficit again. And for that, a portion of the system income is taken, which fills up block by block, fills up the deficit until it's again at zero. And so it's more or less the yield, the yield is paid by the system income in the end.
Perfect, thank you. Now we also learned something from a technical perspective.
Hey guys, may I add to it something, right? Hey everyone, I'm Michael from Brokkr. I'm the marketing lead here. And one more thing for the vaults, what I think that will be also super important is that there will be basically the building block for the whole THORFi. Because, if you want to have lending and borrowing, when you want to have other things, the vaults that will generate APY, that will be basically the main thing that will be used for that. Because if you want to have self-repaying loans, you need to have something that generates the interest that will be paying it. So that's also the major thing why the vaults will be like super nice. Not only because that, they will generate 20%. I mean, like that's awesome. But, afterwards, everything beyond that will be built on top of them. So synthetics, vaults, and all the other instruments. So just the detail.
Okay, great, thank you. And when we talked already about liquidity, I mean, there has been now the announcement for tokemak, for the token reactor core 2 voting, which is kind of tokenized liquidity, and also THORChain creating protocol-owned liquidity. What are your thoughts on this? What many, let's say, call the result of DeFi 2.0, spearheaded by Olympus, for example. How is THORChain, or how would THORChain benefit from both like initiatives?
I mean, with tokemak, I'm curious how it works out, but as it looks like it could be really a nice way to bring more liquidity to the THORChain. There's also already a decent amount of liquidity locked in tokemak. So if I think THORChain is now, or Rune is now at the second rank. So guys, upvote it if you participate on tokemak core voting. If Rune is getting in there, I think this could be really a great way to just increase liquidity increase the depth of the pools. On the other hand, I'm not sure how it will work out when liquidity is removed again. So of course, I think the term is now 1 week. So not sure how this will play out if liquidity is again removed. But yeah, in the first place, I'm pretty sure that it could be beneficial for THORChain.
Yes, thank you, Lucas. Any other views on this? No worries. We have more questions. And one is kind of leading the news right now in the THORChain ecosystem, obviously, like the ongoing, let's say, IDO weeks. Now we have seen the IDO, or public sale of THORSwap, now completed in all 3 stages with THORStarter, THORChain, and also like the SushiSwap listing, and XDEFI and Thorwallet, more or less starting very, very soon. What are kind of your learnings that you've seen? And I mean, it's amazing to see now all these tokens of sub-projects of THORChain launching, but how have you perceived it? What can be improved in your opinion?
Yeah, well, I think it's really cool, like to have like all these THORChain projects, you know, like that are releasing tokens. This is definitely grateful for the community. I think, you know, organizing an IDO isn't an easy task. It can never be perfect. I'd say that, you know, there is always room for improvement, and obviously we're trying to inspire ourselves from what happened in the past. You know, there are plenty of different recipes. I don't think there is one, you know, like almighty recipe. But what we've done with XDEFI Wallet was, you know, to do first like a crowd sale with a fixed price per token for people that have whitelisted themselves, either directly via the wallet, or if they were torch ads, or if they had like a high Degen score, and so on. And this to make sure that you know, we don't do everything via Dutch auction. And this is getting botted, and at the end of the day, you have like 25-30 addresses that have most of the allocation for the public sale. There will also be a Dutch auction right after for any tokens that are remaining and that were not sold during the crowd sale. Let's see how it goes. We believe it's going to be it's going to work well, but you never know. So you know, we'll see what happens. We're confident in the strategy in place, and we think it's the fair way to do things, in our opinion, and yeah, we're looking forward to this to be done with, and then continue focusing on releasing more products.
Perfect, thank you. We'll talk also about the detailed upcoming plan or schedule in a few minutes for XDEFI, and what's the view of the others in terms of ongoing IDOs?
Yeah, obviously, we're super excited that it's finally here after months of preparation. Obviously, an IDO is not an easy task. It's like walking a straight line on a rocking boat, or like moving targets. But obviously, super interesting, not just challenging. And yeah, as you said, we have also some updates just in a few minutes. Overall, we are very excited for all the THORChain ecosystem projects that have launched and also will launch and are around the corner. I think it's really beneficial for the ecosystem, and yeah, all the projects have like different kind of DNA and a great use case for the ecosystem. So I'm very much looking forward to each one of them. And for the details, I will share some details in a few minutes.
Perfect. Lucas, Michael, anything you want to add?
Yeah, sure. I think it's pretty positive sign for the entire ecosystem that those projects are now really starting out doing their IDOs. In my opinion, THORChain probably lost, in terms of ecosystem, probably lost 6 to 9 months to do these hacks in the summer. We've seen how the Terra ecosystem in the meanwhile really flourished, and so many projects popped up. I'm hoping that the same will now happen with THORChain, because the more projects, the more competition, the more players in there, the better for all of us. And yeah, now with THORSwap, XDEFI, Thorwallet, I think that's a great start.
Awesome.
We will follow soon.
Exactly. Yeah, just a few weeks to go.
We are learning from you guys, and then do our own idea.
Perfect.
That's fair enough. I like it.
Yeah, it's always advantage and disadvantages of being early or being late, right? Last question for the panel. If somebody wants to now also start a project for THORChain or on THORChain, what kind of product or protocol or tooling do you think is still missing in the ecosystem and should be built, but you're currently too busy to do it on your own? Is there something that comes to your mind?
Cross-chain push notifications. For me, that would be something super powerful, a little bit like EPNS, but cross-chain. I'd love to be working on it myself, but we just don't have the time, really. The backlog is already more than full, and I'm sure, guys, that's the same for you. But I think that would be something super powerful, especially, I guess, like for XDEFI wallet and Tor wallets, because as wallets, like notifications are something really important. So, especially for the users, definitely something I'd love to see coming soon.
Oh, it's a great point. And but somebody's interested in doing it, building it. I mean, I'm sure THORChain is funding it. So raise your hand and start building. Anything else?
It's actually a great idea. What I also really like is now the development with the light node. You actually mentioned it in the intro, giving community members a chance to run a light node is great. I would love to spend more time on that as well. We actually just set up our own node, started working on it. I mean, not fully operational, but yeah, this kind of part of the ecosystem, we are now elaborating even further and spend more time on it.
Yeah, it will give more people the chance to really have an active stake in the network, and it's definitely something that I think we all can agree that's has a positive impact, right? So I know that Emily needs to leave at 12. So why don't you start to give us a short update on what you have been working on lately, latest milestones, what's coming up in the future, and just to recapitulate on the IDO plans for the coming days.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for that, Hakan. Okay, so IDO, we have the crowd sale at a fixed token price on Monday, as I said just before. We have a Dutch auction for the remaining tokens on Wednesday. Everything is happening on Miso Launchpad. You can find more information, via our Discord channel or our Gitbook. Please feel free to ask any questions if you're curious or if you're already whitelisted. We're happy to assist. Now for the products, a lot of things. I think, and it's a little bit what Lucas said before, sometimes you have kind of a feeling that not a lot of things are happening, but it's more than you're trying to focus on plenty of big features and everything is kind of being shipped almost at the same time. Not exactly, but almost. For XDEFI wallets, we had a big focus recently on Terra. So obviously adding Terra, depositing UST into Anchor via XDEFI wallet interface directly, which has been released today. Now we're focusing on adding wormhole as well to THORChain, the cross-chain swaps in general, because THORChain and wormhole are going to be added in the next 2 weeks to the wallet. So you're going to be able to swap from within the wallet directly really soon. Dark mode's coming. It's been asked by the community for a long time now, so it's coming. It's almost done. We're testing it right now, so it should be probably by the end of next week. What else? We're also working with Brokkr on the synths. So this is something we're working on as well to be able to facilitate this for the THORChain users. What else? Displaying LP tokens for THORChain. That's going to be added really soon. LP tokens for the Ethereum ecosystem is already done. It's not finished to be integrated, but it's going to come really soon. And I'm going to stop. I'm going to stop giving you bullet points because like there are a lot of other stuff. But essentially, we've been able to scale the team quite significantly in the last 4 months, and that gave us the resources to work on more features, and a lot is going to happen by the end of November and early December. So yeah, super excited. Please also, like, guys, if anyone has suggestions, for new features or whatever feedback, please go in our Discord and make them. We always open to hear what you guys want in your wallet. So yeah, exciting times. That's pretty much it. More stuff around NFTs as well are going to happen really soon. Like we're working with NFT20, so you can sell your NFT in one click from XDEFI wallet, and also send them in a few clicks rather than having to use OpenSea. And in Q1 we're also going to start working on with a few partners on depositing NFTs as a collateral from within the wallet as well directly. So that's going to be quite cool. Yeah, that's pretty much it for me, man.
Wow, NFT as collateral, I like it.
Yeah, that's fun.
Nice. That's nice. Just like if anybody has a question now to Emily from XDEFI, you can raise your hand and I can set you as a speaker. Just meanwhile, like 2 questions from my side. One is, you mentioned how you did the whitelisting for public sale. I think it was great how you did it, with working with THORChain Score, working with THORChat, and also have the giving the ability to the public to sign up without any like prerequisites. What's your how satisfied have you been with the reaction? How fast it has been filled?
Yeah, look, it's been filled like incredibly quickly, and like that's kind of humbling to see that, and we were super happy about the collaboration we had with both the THORChain Score and THORChat. That worked well. Within the wallet, it worked well as well. And afterwards, you always have people in the community that missed it and wish they had been there. And as much as I would love to have everyone whitelisted, unfortunately, it's not something that is doable. So you only always going to have some occasion, some situation like that. But I think overall it was great success, and there is a lot to be done around scores in general. I think Terra is also working on something called Passport with loyalty score that gives you the ability to basically assess how good a holder of airdrop is, and then it gives them basically like a larger airdrop for the next time there is an airdrop, which is really interesting concept if you think about it. So yeah, big fan of leveraging on-chain activity to whitelist addresses, either for a sale or for an airdrop or for whatever else. So I think it went well.
Yeah, definitely. I think also like as support of Terra is doing this now, kind of seeing who is most active on the blockchain, not necessarily who has provided the most capital, but really incentivizing activity. I think that's the right way. And if you have like per blockchain or even in the future on cross-chain level, a metrics, an objective one that you can use for this, that's much fairer than many of the other ways airdrops are done currently. Completely agree. A second question to you is, now you have a token before MetaMask, right? Obviously like the biggest competitor, but MetaMask will probably soon launch their token. Any views on how big this is going to be?
So this is going to be big because there is going to be like a Uniswap effect, because that's basically what they're going to do, right? I think the difference between our tokenomics and theirs, and shout out to Delphi Digital, who designed our tokenomics. I think we have something which is really strong, and whereby we are also redistributing value to our token holders. So I encourage you to look a little bit how the mechanics of the token works, but essentially what we're doing is pretty different to what I heard MetaMask is doing for different reasons. And yeah, I cannot comment too much on that, but it's all about like comparing tokenomics.
Okay, thank you. So again, if somebody has a question, I'll make you speak and you can ask it yourself. I know it's probably all a bit shy to do that, but yeah, no worries if you have a question, that's the best way to do it. But thank you, Emily. I understand if you need to leave, so I already thank you for your participation and all the updates. Thanks a lot, appreciate it. And
thanks so much for having me.
Thank you. And let's continue with Marcel from Thorwallet.
Awesome, thanks. Yeah, happy to give you an update on recent developments on Thorwallet. So as mentioned before, an IDO is pretty much a moving target, and with months of preparation, we had like last minute changes at phase 1 with Thor Starter, as well as phase 2, the launch on THORChain with THORSwap. And those changes needed to be addressed quickly and in a very dynamic manner. Like no one is to blame, but there is nothing particularly interesting about it, but we have to roll out the punches, like to deliver on time. So when those changes are decided, we always have the community in mind, like always, as well, of course, as the overall health of the Thorwallet project. And sometimes those last minute changes impact also token economics calculations, supply allocations, which have been prepared for weeks and months. Even like these requirements also, we need to spend a fair bit of time with our lawyers to make sure changes are compliant with Swiss law and so on. So it's like walking a straight line on a rocking boat. And sometimes those decisions need to be brought to the community, such as our vote on how to proceed the launch on THORChain. We basically saw two options of both having advantages and disadvantages, and we wanted the community to understand. That's also why we highlighted that they need to read the Medium article with great care to understand it, also to understand our line of thinking, and then basically go for a vote. You know, we're a Swiss team, we'd like to vote for a lot of things. And I think the approach, the approach was welcomed by the community. And it basically shows that we care, give transparency, and we also intend to operate like that in the future. When we come to the vote, it's actually a pretty clear outcome. 66% went for option A, which means our IDO happens on THORChain and will go down on Wednesday. Honestly, this wasn't what the team internally wanted, but we care what our community wants, and we are doing what we ask for. And now we're in full preparation mode to make it a full success. To make it a full success, we also increased our allocation of the THORChain launch a lot because we want the launch to proceed slowly enough so the community is able to see what is happening to the price rather than to have ape blindly and just hope for the best. And then I'd just like to highlight some other points.
Sorry, just one question, Marcel.
Sure.
That we understand. What does it now mean that we go with option A? So the schedule stays as originally published, no postponement, but what are the advantages and disadvantages of the outcome now from a user perspective?
Sure. So again, I would highlight that everyone reads the Medium article where it's outlined pretty clear, I think. So right now, we use the interface to add liquidity. Most people will go through the THORSwap interface, I assume. We will also prepare Medium article, which displays exactly how to do that. We will beforehand actually airdrop some TGT, which then enables to add liquidity to the pool, to the staging pool, as you would normally add. But there is no specific IDO interface or landing page as it was before. So that's basically the disadvantage. We suggested also some improvements if we would have made an own landing page just for that. Although landing page sounds a bit like it's not a big task, but in the back end, it's like building THORSwap Lite. So quite a bit of work. And then we could have implemented some suggested improvements, such as sending the ETH transaction first, then showing the price again, and then you can do the faster Rune transaction, which gives again more transparency. Now the community has chosen that they do not want that, and they do not want to wait, because it takes between 3 to maybe 6 weeks to develop that from scratch. Right now, also, again, as said before, I need to highlight that we increased the pool allocation a lot, which is basically just financial mathematics, that you don't, like, it's more linear increase and less a pump than a dump. So less volatility, and basically a bit less of a black box than it used to be.
Yeah, in crypto, nobody wants to wait, right? That's the problem. But
exactly.
It will be a more war experience, let's say. But everybody who wants to take part, please make sure you read all the material, you read the guide, how it's working. And is there some place where people can ask questions during the THORChain public sale?
Yeah, surely. We encourage everyone to join Discord. We will be available there. We will help wherever we can. Obviously, when it comes to mechanics of the THORSwap site per se, we're limited, but everything else we can support. And of course, also for the preparation, how to use the TGT, we airdrop, and so on. Please read the Medium article that is out already carefully. We will issue the second one just for phase 2, like a how-to guide, and then basically prepare accordingly, and then I think we're good to go.
Perfect. Thank you. So I interrupted you before. You wanted to add something.
Yeah, no worries. Yes, because I simply have some more points I'd like to highlight. Quickly highlighting the NFTs. So after announcing that our Thorwallet NFTs give like a preferred treatment in the Thor Starter launch, they got sold out super quickly and are now currently traded as well on OpenSea. I heard even that there are some fakes around, so please be aware and check accordingly, just to not have a bad surprise. And we will continue to continue the preferred treatment of our NFT holders in the future, and of course of the TGT holders. We intend to be very, very generous. Like, I know that some were unhappy that the allocation size on Thor Starter is not that big, but keep in mind that we 6-folded from our intended allocation swiftly after we needed to change the mechanism on how to launch a Thor Starter. Well, again, needed to pay attention on our initial plan token economics, as just explained before. But I'm really certain, as well as my team, and we're confident that the Thor Starter participants will see a good return that outstrips the current high gas fees. And also, we continue to be generous with the TGT holders. There, I'd like to address that when we first announced the project, we said that we're going to buy back 20% of our tokens and burn them.
With
many
the
projects,
revenue, right?
With the revenue. With the revenue we create, exactly. Many projects don't provide much detail at all, so we're kind of a victim of our own communication with that. We had always intended to increase that, but haven't communicated it as well as we should have. So actually, we're going to immediately increase that buyback to 50%.
Wow.
Basically as an announcement, first heard here. In the future, most likely this will increase again. And of course, we're going to offering very juicy rewards in the TGT Rune pool, as well as some handsome single-sided staking rewards of TGT. And quickly, a thing about the airdrop, don't forget the airdrop. Most likely, we will be airdropping a single TGT to all who register for the THORChain. It's basically like a whitelisting. This will be distributed at our cost, so you don't need to claim it. And then when the app is available in the Apple Store as well as the Android, we will give like a proper airdrop that can be claimed within the app directly. That will be more generous. So right now, this is the plan right now. And yeah, so I really want to highlight that we really execute on our promises. And yeah, for now, those are the points I wanted to highlight, and I'm happy to answer if questions are around.
Great updates. Thank you very much. Again, if somebody wants to ask a question, I will set you the speaker. I see one. Just a question from my side before. You mentioned the airdrop. Have you published like what are the requirements for to get the airdrop? It's bound to the NFT.
It's not bound to the NFT, as we want to have it as broad as possible, people to participate in phase 2. Most likely it will be like a small Google form where people can fill out and also prove a little bit their experience with THORChain. They need to obviously enter their ETH address, Ethereum address, and then they get airdrop 1 TGT. And also for everyone who misses that, for whatever crazy reasons, we will have a contract ready for the launch where you can basically claim 1 TGT. Yeah, that's for those to still be able to participate, and that's just for those who miss the airdrop, like a fallback solution.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. So I see Juggernaut wants to ask a question. I will quickly set you on speaker. You're able to speak now, I guess. Yep. Just unmute yourself.
Do you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, perfect.
Yes.
Nice to be there. Nice to meet you all. First question. We know that the aim of XDEFI is integrate a lot of a maximum of blockchain faster as possible. Are you on the same way? Second question is very much more basically. We know now that Thorwallet got a fighter ramp. In the near future, it will be possible to pay in the supermarket with my phone if I got a TG Thorwallet. Is it in the plan or not?
Okay, so 2 questions.
Okay,
right?
great.
Yeah.
Thanks. Yeah, 2 questions, right? So the first one, to implement as much blockchains as possible. So we obviously want to be like a one-stop solution that everyone can use. So you don't have like 3 wallets on your mobile phone. So hence, we follow the idea that we want to integrate as much blockchain as possible. We are ramping up the developer teams. We are hiring new people to be able to deliver as fast as possible, and yes, that's the plan. When it comes to your second question regarding can you pay on the in the supermarket? So first, what we want to work on is a fiat on ramp. To clarify that, because there were community members. Again, it's probably like a split. Half don't want to have fiat at all because they just don't like it. It's old school, and the other ones say, well, it's super convenient. Let's have it. So the idea that I have in mind is have like a cool multi-wallet functionality where one wallet you actually have fiat on ramp, and in the other one, if you don't want it, you don't. Obviously, for fiat on ramping, you will need some type of KYC if we talk about proper fiat on ramping. Yes, and not everyone is up for that. So we want to make it optional. Then how to spend money is actually a little bit something different. This would mean we need to connect to a payment provider. This would put us more like with crypto.com, that we also have a credit card and so on. Long term, like, yes, I like the idea. But for 2022, maybe for the second half, we can think if it's feasible for the roadmap. Right now, we're super packed, obviously, with delivering on everything we have promised so far. But yes, it's definitely a good idea, and we actually encourage the community to keep coming those ideas, and we will brainstorm it internally with our advisors, with the community, as we are a community-driven project.
And it kind of requires you to add like at least virtual cards and then integrate with, I don't know, Apple, Google Pay.
Exactly. Yeah, absolutely. Exactly. This comes with a lot of requirements. Not that we're shy of not working towards that, but it basically, if you're a DeFi project and you want to connect with that, you're a first mover, which means it's more work. We are happy to do so, but let's just plan carefully, plan the resources, do a proper timeline, project management, and then we're up for something like that.
Thank you. Juggernaut, does this answer your questions? 3, 2, 1, I guess so. Great. Okay, so thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. So let's move to Brokkr. We are already quite late in time, so I hope you have still a few more minutes for us. Lucas, do you want to give us an update?
Sure. Yeah, what's next for Brokkr? So we are up to launch Brokkr on the ChaosNet, which is pretty exciting, together with the launch of Synths, or the activation of Synths. So probably next 2 weeks till end of November, I would say that's the target date. So as you can imagine, a lot of stuff to do right off before I launch, but we are pretty confident that this will work out pretty well. Before that, we also sync with other projects in the ecosystem to also with 9 Realms to kind of battle test the synths. So there will be some announcement soon about this. For proper testing, we also provide a small tool, which is put live next week on the Brokkr testnet version, where I can claim some testnet room. So if you want to test out those stuff, just open up Brokkr and get your testnet room. And we will also host we called it an ABA session, not an AMA session, but an ABA session, Ask Brother Anything, as Brokkr is your brother in DeFi. This session will be mainly related to synthetics. So what can you actually do with synths? Why are they important? Technical details, and everything will be covered there. And so when you're up for synths, just make sure to join this session. I think Michael will announce soon when this will take place. So this is more for the short-term roadmap. Mid-term, so the next, let's say 2 to 3 months, we're really focusing on building up THORChain as well as Terra functionalities. So as I said before, we are aiming to be this one-stop solution where you can make use of THORChain and Terra in one place with very easy and an easy way to interact with these services. So we are working right now on the mirror integration so that you can go long farming on mirror, with the plan to, as a next step, to have delta neutral strategy automated for the user. So in the end, you start with any THORChain based asset and you will be able to make use of delta neutral strategy on Terra. This is kind of the next bigger milestone we are aiming for. And yeah, pretty exciting, as I think. In the beginning of Brokkr, we also focused heavily on working out this concept and the idea of being a product for the mass market. So really focused on how we want to approach the people, how we want to distribute, display information to those people. The last couple of weeks, we added some additional perspective, thinking more about how we can accrue value and capture value on the protocol level. Did a as I think, a pretty good job on that. So we will also announce more information on how Brokkr will look like on the protocol level, what's going on there, how the value is kept within its own system, and why the Pro token is so super important in this entire system. So probably will be announced in the next couple of weeks, more to that. And in parallel, of course, we're starting to prepare our IDO. The DGA will take place in Q1 next year. So as said before, we are now looking how the other guys doing, the other teams doing, try to learn from that, as well as are middle of preparing our own stuff already.
And when can we expect the first, let's say, productive launch or product ready, the first part of it?
No, this will at the same time as SYNs are being activated. So I would say end of November.
Okay, great. So
and from that exactly from that moment on, you will be able to interact with SYNs. So to mint SYNs, to swap them, to redeem back to layer 1 assets, as well as swap just layer 1 assets. So just have access to the liquidity pools and swap assets between A and P. Also on our roadmap is an easier way to provide liquidity to THORChain pools. Just another way to provide liquidity on THORChain and to get more liquidity in there. I think that's we all of us will benefit from it.
Definitely. And your Terra based products with long term, it will all kind of come together and be in a symbiotic relationship. But for now, they are planned after SYNs, right?
They are planned after SYNs launch, exactly. So we're already working on it. So with kind of the invest page is more or less ready. So as a next step, we enable the buying of M assets and putting those M assets on long farming. We just one step. So we try to keep it simple for the user. We try to address users that are not that hardcore degens and who know everything, how everything works. But we, in the long run, want to attract the mass market, but still want to make use of these great benefits DeFi and it's more specific to THORChain and Terra offers. And so next step, long farming on Mirror. And this is kind of one crucial step towards delta neutral farming on Mirror.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you, Lucas, for this update. Any questions to Lucas and Michael from Brokkr? If yes, now is the chance. Otherwise, there's one. Yes, thank you. I will set you now as speaker. Let's go.
Can you hear me?
Hey, yes.
Just wanted to say hi, right? Haven't talked to Lucas in a while. Hey, Arkon. And also to congratulate, right? First of all, I think you have the best token name of all, right? So everybody who doesn't want to have your token, I don't understand that, right? I want to become a bro myself. So I think that you did an excellent move. And for the rest, I mean, we have talked, Lucas, right? I think it's so important. And I see this right now more and more that what you're saying, right? We need mainstream adoption. And I think your app will be one of the core ones, hopefully, to move ahead. And I wanted to ask how you're imagining the IDO process, but then you said also at the same time that you want to learn from the others. So that kind of made it clear that you're still figuring it out. But I don't know if you have something in your mind, what you think works, right? If you can or want to share on the IDO process yourself.
Sure. Yeah, great to see you again. Thank you. And yeah, as I said, crypto or DeFi, bring DeFi to the masses. It's super important. The hard thing here is we are all of us probably in this channel here. We're all kind of in a bubble. So we are in DeFi all the time, and we think this is the only thing out there. But to understand both worlds, this DeChain DeFi world and the mass market is a pretty hard job, I guess. but yeah, we're trying to do so. Regarding the IDO, so we already announced that we will do a part of it via Thorwallet. This is still true. We're also considering to launching directly on THORChain as well. It's not finally decided yet, and since we are also considering not finally decide where the token actually will be, if it's on Ethereum or it's even on Terra. So we're also considering maybe to have some or use some launchpad there. So, but as I said, nothing finally decided yet, and a lot of open questions still to answer.
Yeah, no, cool to hear that. So please don't put it on Ethereum, right? I'm a shrimp, I'm a poor guy. I cannot afford the fees over there. It's still the only issue I have with THORStarter all the time is why is it on Ethereum? And it hurts all my years that I'm getting there. No, but it's as said, I'm very much looking forward to your work and keep it up. And yeah, I'm jumping out already. And yeah, let me become a bro soon.
Thank you for your question. By the way, THORStarter is also expanding towards Terra, so this should partly also solve the issue. So thank you all very much for taking part. And sorry we couldn't do it from the official THORChain account. Hopefully this will work better in the future. But hearing all these great speeches and updates, I'm very bullish again on Europe. Has been a real EU-focused session today with teams from Austria, Switzerland, UK, and yeah, I think that's also great to hear that not all innovation happens only in the US and Asia. So thank you all very much for joining, and enjoy your day, night, evening, whatever it is. And thank you here, and see you next time.
Thanks, Akon, for hosting this.
Yeah.
See you guys.
Have a great weekend. See ya.